Good afternoon, brethren. I greet you in the name of God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And I wish you God's blessing wherever you are, watching and listening to this lesson for today. Today, I'm sharing from Mark chapter 4, beginning to read from verse 5 up to verse 41. And I read, that is Mark chapter 4, verse 35 to 41. That day when evening came, he said to his disciples, "Let us go over to the other side." Leaving the crowd behind, they took him along, just as he was in the boat. Leaving the crowd behind, they took him along, just as he was in the boat. There were other boats with him. A furious calm came up, and the waves broke over the boat so that it was nearly swamped. Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. The disciples woke him and said, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" He got up and rebuked the wind and said to the waves, "Quiet, be still." Then the wind died down, and it was completely calm. He says to his disciples, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" They were terrified and asked each other, "Who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him." Today, I want to share with you in a short time, just a few minutes, a lesson I've titled, "Fear is not our only problem." Fear is not our only problem. We see a picture here of Jesus and his disciples. Jesus asks his disciples to go to the other side of the water body. And while they are moving, while they are traveling, while they were on this journey, the Bible says there was a sudden event that happened. An unforeseen situation happened. It was not a pleasant situation. It was a very, very unpleasant situation. A situation they never expected. What was it? A fierce wind started blowing against them, against their boat. And the boat was sinking. The boat was swamping. The boat started having the waters getting into it. And the Bible said, in that instant, during that time, when all those things were happening, Jesus was sleeping. But Jesus was the only man sleeping in the boat. The rest of the disciples were awake. And because the disciples were awake, they were alive to the situation. They knew what was going on. They knew death was looming. They knew death was going to come upon them. And like most of us, We fear death, especially when it has given all the signs of its coming. We want to run away, we want to avoid it. So they were thrown into a state of panic. They were thrown into a state of worry. They became anxious. They didn't know what was going to happen. So they tried, I believe they tried to remove the water and it didn't help them. It takes my mind to what happened in the Old Testament. When Jonah tries to dodge away from Nineveh, going to Tarshish, something similar happened. People there also were panicking. They threw things that were not supposed to be thrown into the. Even here, the disciples were afraid. Something they did not plan for. Brothers and sisters, so many things can happen in life anytime. Problems can come. Situations can turn out to be very ugly. But we have not to forget that even at that time, when things became terrible, there was Jesus in the boat. That was the only hope there was. Unfortunately, they didn't realize at the very beginning. Jesus was in the boat. He was in the boat, but the wind came. He was comfortably sleeping, but the wind came. He was there, Jesus was there, but the boat was sinking. Brothers and sisters, you can have money, but still problems can be there in different ways. In a way which money cannot solve. You can be a very strong man, but problems might come. In a way which strength, which energy cannot solve. You can be very intelligent, but problems can come which can challenge your intelligence. At that time, you have, the Bible says, the power of God at work in us. There's power, God's power is in us. But how much of that power is at work in you? Jesus was in the boat, but people were very much panicking. They were at panic. They started fighting with the water, fighting with the wind, but Jesus was there in the boat. What am I saying? I'm saying fear is not the only problem. In the midst of circumstances which are not good, in the midst of problems, fear is not the only problem. The problem is not only the problem. Am I saying we should live in perpetual fear? No. I'm saying fear is possible. Fear is normal. But what you do when you are afraid is very, 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 very important. There's something very, very important that happened during this instance. When the disciples tried all they did and it failed, they did one thing at last. They ran to Jesus. They woke him up and said, Master, don't you care that we are drowning? Don't you care that we are dying? Don't you care that we are in trouble? Master, are you aware? Are you not aware that problems have come upon us? We will be dead if you don't do something. brother, my sister, when you are in a problem, when you have a challenge, when you have a situation, it's better to understand what the situation your intelligence can handle. It's better to understand what situations money can handle. It's better to understand what situations connections can handle. These disciples understood. They came to a realization that not everything that came across them, that came out upon them, can be handled by them. They ran to Jesus Christ. And we will come to this point where we realize some of the things that we can be faced with require something more than natural, requires something outside this world, requires some power which is superior to nature. And that's a supernatural power. We need God who surpasses nature, who surpasses our understanding, who surpasses our abilities. We need to run to Him. The disciples pressed the right key. They ran to Jesus Christ. When you are afraid, when you feel you are in danger, there is a Jesus to cry on, to depend on, to run to. Don't exalt human opinions more than the opinion of God when you're in trouble. He is our chief counselor. Run to Him for counsel. He is our great hope. Run to Him for courage. Run to Him and He will strengthen you. Don't depend on your own understanding. Don't be wise in your own eyes. In all that you face, acknowledge Him, and He will straighten your paths. That's what I wanted to encourage you about. Don't ever move away from Jesus Christ. Don't depend on fellow human beings more than you depend on Jesus Christ. Don't trust a fellow human being more than you trust Jesus Christ. Always run to Jesus. He is your closest friend. He is a friend that sticks closer than a brother. He is the roof who says, wherever you go, I'll go with you. Your people shall be my people. Your God shall be my God. It's not like our fellow human beings who can abandon us in the midst of problems. Jesus, even in the midst of the problems, is able to wake up and say, my son, rest. I'll fight for you. This battle is not just your battle. It's also mine. He's our closest friend. No one else can replace Him. Cling to Him. The Bible says, why shall separate us from the love of God? Shall it be problems? What? Name it. Paul says, oh, in all these things we are more than conquerors. With Jesus, you can do all things because He will give you the strength. In Him, you can move. In Him, you can live. In Him, you can have your being. Even in the midst of problems, you can be strong. You can run to Him. You can be strengthened by Him. Don't move away from Him. Cling to Him. Don't run to the witch doctors. Don't exalt friends above Christ. Cling to Jesus Christ. Don't let your fear to doubt the power of God Don't let fear to make you doubt His power. I'm going to sing with you in conclusion or in closing a hymn song. There's not a friend like a lonely Jesus. No, not one. No, not one. None else could heal us so easily. No, not one. No, not one. Jesus knows all about our struggles. He will guide till the day is done. There's not a friend like a lonely Jesus. No, not one. No, not one. No friend like Jesus. No friend like Him. He's so high and holy. No, not one. No, not one. And let no friend be so meek and holy. No, not one. No, not one. Jesus knows all about our struggle. He will guide till the day is done. There's not a friend like a lonely Jesus. No, not one. No, not one. There's not another He is no nearer. No, not one. No, not one. No, not so dark, but His love can chill us. No, not one. No, not one. Jesus knows all about our struggle. He will guide till the day is done. There's not a friend like a lonely Jesus. No, not one. No, not one. Oh, they begin like a Savior Jesus. No, not one. No, not one. We will refuse as a home we need. No, not one. No, not one. Jesus knows all about our struggle. He will guide till the day is done. There's not a friend like a lonely Jesus. No, not one. No, not one. And I'll say, my brothers, my sisters, if you can't trust your sisters, you can't trust your brothers, you can't trust your parents, your friends, your leadership, at least you can trust Jesus. I repeat, fear is not the only problem. But what you do in the midst of fear is more important than fear. When you are afraid and you run to God, you run to Jesus Christ, you have done a better thing. You have gone to the right place. Always make sure when fear grips your heart, you run to Jesus. If you don't run to Jesus, it will paralyze you, and the devil will celebrate. Trust Jesus. Trust God with all your heart, with everything in you. No matter the time, trust Him. Trust Him. Don't allow fear to paralyze you. Always depend on God. May God bless you. May God bless us all. Amen.